in the main. Otherwise, fairly standard. He has the full set of Price of Progress, Grim Lavamancer, Goblin Guide, Keldon Marauders, Hellspark Elemental.
Seems pretty strong. I mean, it's one of those decks that isn't incredibly cost intensive, whereas when you take a look at Alaric Stein's deck, that gets a little more pricey, I think.
Get kind of pricey. So one of the gambles of playing Burn is a lot of times it's a check on what's your opponent doing. You know, if they have enough hate for you, it can be very hard to win. If they don't, it can be a very easy matchup for you.
Certainly.
Alaric Stein is playing Punishing Maverick. He has 3 Punishing Fires with 3 Grove of the Burn Willows. In his main deck, think cards that his opponent would have to care out. He has 2 Umezawa's Jites, 1 Thrun. Otherwise, most of the cards in his deck, not very quick. Burn looks to have a decent... He's going to try to get Stoneforge out, getting... he doesn't have any... Actually, he does not have the Batter Skull in the main deck. And that's huge here.
That's kind of a risky choice, don't you think? I mean...
The risky choice is he has 2 Jites, 1 sword. I don't know about the second Jite.
And Isaac Sears literally just throws the Goblin Guide.
I love this. I was like, all right, this is what I'm doing.
To ya. Go.
So here we go.
Alaric Stein revealing Scavenging Ooze.
Sure. So, all right, game's on. Remember, Stein, to get the life gain engine going, will have to get an Umezawa's Jite attached to something.
And that could be, I mean... Sears is running Lightning Bolts. Is Rift Bolt an instance?
Rift Bolt's a sorcery.
Rift Bolt's a sorcery. Okay, so we have Bolts and Fire Blast, but Grim Lavamancer is still...
Grim Lavamancer still can kill Stoneforge Mystic. So this, I mean, without the Batter Skull, this seems very dicey game 1 for Alaric. He's going to get the free card and swords off the Goblin Guide.
Right, so we have Alaric at... It's going to be 15... Took 2 Goblin Guide hits plus the...
All right, and now let's...
Or no, he didn't take the second hit.
Not take the second hit, so Alaric's at 17. And now let's load up on the 3 damage for 1 mana. So we have Rift Bolt.
So efficient. So very efficient. Is this the kind of deck that you like to play in Legacy Matthias, or...
Burn or Maverick?
Do you like either of these decks? If you were playing today, would you run one of these?
I would. I mean, I'm kind of a sucker for... I like decks that count to 20. So I do like that in the sense of Burn. I like having a little more control in my own hands. I'd probably play something more like a combo deck if I were playing right now.
Sure.
I really like things that iterate that have a very narrow focus and really you can optimize getting to them. To me, Maverick seems a little fair. I know it's been doing great it's been doing great as of late. So I can't really knock on the card too hard, but it doesn't play Force of Will. It plays Stoneforge Mystic. That card's kind of unfair.
Sure. It's a tutor.
It's a tutor, but you know, I think where I'm playing, I have trouble in a format where so many things are legal. Playing green, if you told me that I should be playing green and white cards, I guess I just have to give you one of those looks of uncertainty on that.
Which is completely legitimate. So we have Alaric Stein with, well, it was a Scavenging Ooze. Now it is an X-Ooze.
So he's opting to go at the Ooze and not at Alaric.
And so Alaric's going to draw...
He has a Green Sun...
Swords.
Yeah. He has a Green Sun Zenith, Elspeth Knight Errant, Swords to Plowshares. Swords probably might end up going at one of his own creatures in a pinch.
Entirely possible. I mean, you could easily jump something, punch with it, and then Swords it to gain a little extra.
Right. So one of the big questions is how many cards are left in Isaac Sears' hand? I think we're at 4 is what I believe we're at.
He's had Goblin Guide, Chain Lightning, Rift Bolt, 3 lands.
So that's 6 cards.
He was on the play.
And that's turn 3, so he's drawn 2 more.
Yep.
So he only has 3 cards left in his hand.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to see Green Sun Zenith from Alaric for another Scavenging Ooze.
And Scavenging Ooze, a good play here. It helps to really, if Isaac has a Hellspark Elemental, for example, it really helps against that sort of effect.
Sure.
Keldon Marauders.
Keldon Marauders also acceptable.
At this point, Isaac needs to stop drawing lands.
Yep, only 19 lands in Isaac Sears' decks. We have 17 mountains and 2 barbarian rings.
And actually, Alaric's being very careful here. The rings threshold will be pretty hard. Alaric's making a point to only fetch basics. Probably knowing that Isaac's playing Price of Progress.
Right, so Alaric's going to go to 12 and cast Elspeth.
Well, in order to cast the Elspeth, he's going to have to get another dual land. So that'll open up, a potential 2 more damage from Price of Progress. Didn't find lines looking for in the first half.
All right,
and there
so
we
there
are.
it is. The Star City Games token.
So it's a soldier token.
Kristen Plaskow art. Man, she is awesome.
Yeah. All these tokens, and you get them for free with orders. Is that correct?
Yep. We ship them with the orders, and it's art from Kristen Plaskow and also Justin Treadway, both very talented artists. And oh, there's the Hellspark Elemental for Isaac Sears.
Right now, once again, this is where Scavenging Ooze was a very nice play for him to get. It'll help make sure that there's only one Hellspark Elemental to deal with and not two.
True, true.
So Alaric going down to 9 here, and then 8, virtual 8 due to Keldon Marauders.
Sure. And at this point, so we're going to see, presumably, Alaric... No, he's not going to... Well, he could eat the Hellspark Elemental with the Scavenging Ooze.
Remember, he can eat, because of its Unearth and not Flashback, he can eat the Hellspark Elemental in response to the Unearth trigger.
Absolutely.
So and he's going to Fire Blast the Scavenging Ooze, which I think is an excellent play, actually.
Yeah, that is... Instead of being behind on life with a bigger ooze, Isaac's
right.
like...
Well, let's see, because it's buying... It depends, actually, if he has another Hellspark Elemental or not.
Sure.
Because the Fire Blast could be going at the face, and that plus the one Keldon Marauders would bring it down to 8 to 4, so it would bring him in potential range of 1 Flame Rift away from dead.
So we're going to see Isaac cracking with Hellspark.
Alaric still has a Swords to Plowshares, so he has a little bit of decisions to make, but...
A little bit.
He's going to... You may see Alaric jumping the token and then swordsing his own token.
Entirely possible. Now, it's interesting that Alaric did not swords the Hellspark at this point. Did you figure maybe that the jump play on Elspeth, I mean, I guess it's more life? I
think 5 life. Alaric he's playing out the Wasteland, so he has the potential to waste both his duels in response to a Price of Progress.
Sure.
There's no spell that Isaac has that actually will deal 5 to him. So Alaric may want to save the Swords of Plowshare for something like a fresh Hellspark Elemental, or something that really, puts him in a dicey situation.
Sure, sure. Isaac draws passes.
This is the fun part about playing as Mono Red. All right, so now we get to try to kill you, and you're going to keep drawing cards that deal damage to me.
Jumping and hitting, putting Isaac Sears looks like down to 16.
More
he draws again.
For Isaac.
4 lands.
And it's Riftbolt you. ... Okay, 2. That's fine. Bolt you.
Bolt you.
And that puts him... He should have no response.
Yep.
That's GG. Only a 1/1, so swordsing it doesn't do anything. Isaac Byrne takes the first game.
All right, so that was interesting. We saw Isaac really just reaching out. He had 2 bolts in the last turn to get through, while Alaric was still in a position where he could have done the Elspeth jump into a swords.
The problem with that is it still only buys Alaric 1 more turn. He's really going to need more of a sustainable answer, and this is where Alaric does have 1 Batterskull on his board, and it's pretty essential that he brings it in.
Yes. On Isaac's side, we have... Well, gosh, it doesn't really look like he has much relevant. He's got Smash to Smithereens.
He probably will board in Smash to Smithereens. He doesn't, we didn't see a Stoneforge Mystic, but if Isaac knows his opponent's deck, he'll know that there's Stoneforge in it, and he probably would assume there's a Batterskull in the main. Sure. Certainly assume there's a Batterskull after board. You can't beat the Batterskull. You're going to have to blow it up. I imagine there'll be some Smash to Smithereens coming in.
Interesting. Yeah, that's certainly a viable line of play. He's also got, Rebs and Pyros irrelevant. Pyrostatic Pillar,
not too much.
No, Tormod's Crypt.
Tormod's Crypt. Those are for the combo decks.
Yeah.
So I think just the Smash to Smithereens come in here.
And what does he take out from? Do you think maybe the Flame Rip? No, that seems pretty awful. Now that I think about it.
He probably will look at taking out. Well, what are his worst burn spells? So that might be on the draw. That might be a Grim Lavamancer. It might be a Lava Spike.
Entirely possible.
He probably just wants extra utility.
Yep.
On the other side, with Alaric, we have 1 Batterskull for sure coming in. We have 2 Ajani Vengeance maybe coming in.
Huh.
Ajani Vengeance.
That would be kind of saucy.
The -2 effect. Gain 3 life, maybe kill a creature. Granted, a lot of his creatures are very inconvenient to kill. Goblin Guide is okay. Keldon Marauders is, I suppose, okay to kill. Hellspark Elemental you can't kill.
Right.
So he may or may not bring that in.
other than that, I mean,
they're both playing with their main deck.
Yeah.
It's really essential that Alaric gets a Stoneforge Mystic into Batterskull before Isaac can knock him out.
yeah, if Ira can stick an early Batterskull, that's going to be really hard for Isaac to come back from. But conversely, if Ira can't stick it and Isaac just drops a bunch of dudes and burn early on,
Yeah.
we could see a pretty quick repeat. So we have opening of Noble Hierarch for Alaric Stein. Isaac responds, just
Throwing
it
the
on the
Goblin
table.
Guide again.
It's cool. Reveals a Taiga.
This time Alec gets a card off it, so
Seems fine. Man, Goblin Guide is so good.
Goblin Guide is definitely one of the better cards in Burn.
Yes. Iric draws Green Sun Zenith.
His best targets, I mean, he does have Scavenging Ooze. He
Sure.
has not many other good green sun. He has a Thrun the Last Troll.
Yep. He does have Kasali Pride Mage, but nah, just a bear.
Remember, Alaric
Everything's
has to be
altered.
careful about how many dual lands he fetches up. Another land in his hand is a dual, and Price of Progress can be very terrifying if you are too aggressive with your mana.
It does make you wonder if Iric's just counting off in his head, all right, each one of these lands is going to cost me 2,
Right.
regardless of how I play them out. And we see
And
he's got the Punishing
he has the
Fire.
Punishing Fire.
Looks like he's thinking that one over.
I'm probably going to try to get the extra card off the Punishing Fire. Another Noble Hierarch. It's pretty strong, I think. So then now it will turn not only the mana, but it'll turn all his creatures into relevant threats. I really like the card here.
And there's a Stoneforge Mystic for Iric. Good.
Just debating between Stoneforge Mystic and leaving up Punishing Fire here.
Is that really a hard decision, do you think?
Well, with all the mana he has, no. I go for the Stoneforge because next turn he can hard cast the Batterskull anyway, based off all the mana he has.
Yep.
So I think it's fancy to try to get that land off Goblin Guide, but let's just get the Batterskull. Let's do this.
Yeah.
He would love, if Stoneforge Mystic doesn't die, to be able to hold up Batterskull with 3 extra. If so, that's going to be very hard for Isaac to deal with. Right now, he may or may not have a Smash to Smithereens. Isaac's really hoping that he can deal with that. Somehow he can profitably answer the Batterskull.
If Isaac doesn't have the Smash to Smithereens here, what are his outs otherwise?
Well,
Sulfuric Vortex?
Sulfuric Vortex. Actually, Sulfuric Vortex would be an excellent play here.
Yep. Such a good card.
He only has 1.
Yeah, this is also true. Iric reveals the swords off a Goblin Guide swing.
And mind you, he needs a Smash to Smithereens in addition to a removal spell for the Stoneforge Mystic for this plan to work out. So that's a lot of ifs. Now, is that the Vortex in his hand?
Could it
Remember, Alaric still has a Green Sun Zenith and does play 1 Kasali Pride Mage. Sulfuric Vortex may not be all it's cracked up to be.
Bolt for that. And are we going to see another bolt on the Hierarch, maybe?
Well, if he doesn't have the Smash to Smithereens, he needs to keep that Batterskull off the table. No, he's just going to suspend the Rift Bolt. So, Alaric, here we go. Likely just saying, all right, do you show me the Smash? Yep.
That's going to be tough.
Well, does he has it? Here's the check.
Untap.
Going right at the face.
Rifty to 12. Draw. Tap 2
And
mana.
here, yeah, let's see if he has it.
Tap. Nope. Just tap the mana. And Fire Blast.
So it must have been that the initial 3 damage was at the Batterskull, not at Alaric.
Well,
Oh, no, Batterskull's only
Batterskull's
4/4. Batterskull's a 4/4. So on the first 3, sorry, my mistake. It's not a 5. It costs 5, but it's a 4/4.
Yep.
So very nice. That's pretty
risky.
Good. That's
Now,
I think it's his only line. But it could possibly be enough.
fine.
He's down to 10.
Iric's at 10.
At this point, attacks will probably be pretty fruitless. It's down to as soon as next turn, Thrun's going to pick up this Batterskull. So Isaac's going to need to have something.
That's a depressing thought. It's like, here's a Thrun. He's going to gain me 8 a turn.
Right.
Would you like to scoop?
Well, let's see. There are 2 non-basics. He's going to need the Smash to Smithereens. All right, Lightning Bolt to you. You're at 7.
7. If he
Bolt, Fire Blast.
Bolt, Fire Blast would do it. Price.
Flame
into
Rift,
Fire Blast.
I think all his outs here involve a Fire Blast.
Yes.
or a smash to smithereens. Once again, kind of a, it's like here's the check. Let's see what he has.
What do we see?
Thinking a while, which makes me think he doesn't have the land. If he has a lightning bolt and the fire blast, he can block and bolt his own goblin guide to give himself one more turn to try to draw the out.
That is certainly a use of bolts that I have not seen before.
Well,
but
he can't let Alaric gain the 8 life. It's too much. Not to mention Alaric has a Swords to Plowshares in his hand, and can remember hexproof is not Shroud, so he can actually sword his own Thrun for 8 life.
Ugh. And there's going to be the exalted triggers.
So
from the
9
hierarch,
life.
so we're seeing a 10-10.
Oh, it's 2 hierarchs. Yeah, we'd be seeing a 10-point life swing. That's probably enough. Isaac.
GG.
Isaac has nothing.
Yep. Man, that's ugly. That is just really.
So once again, game 1,
really
the no Batter Skull in the main deck, huge problem for Alaric, as we saw he dropped game 1. Batter Skull game 2, much better.
Right. You go from having 0 Batter Skulls game 1 to having effectively 4 of them.
Yep, he has only 3 Stoneforge Mystics. So yeah,
only 3 Stoneforge Mystics. So, and that's just something where, I don't know, if Isaac had a smash, that would have been game, set, match, I'm fairly certain. But now we're in it. Now it's game 3.
Game 3, really, once again, Alaric's going to have to mulligan, pretty much, he's going to almost have to mulligan to a Stoneforge Mystic. Without that, the matchup is very problematic for him. Umezawa's Jite does an okay impression. I guess if he had a hand with Jite and perhaps some other runes, that hand is also keepable.
It does beg the question, though. If Alaric had not had the Noble Hierarchs, if he had not had the opportunity
to hard cast the Batter Skull?
All right, you killed my Mystic, that's fine. Instead of paying 2 for it, I'll just pay the 5. If he had been stuck on that, well, then what?
Well, I mean, it's, so sometimes when you play the game of, if my opponent didn't have that, you have to be honest in saying, well, if my opponent is, that's minus 2 cards, my opponent had to have something. So then the question is, what did he have? Say if it's a Mother of Runes, well, that's not actually any better, because that also solves the problem.
Yep.
If his opponent, did just have more lands, for example, Isaac probably gets that game.
Yeah, it's a thing, and you can always prognosticate, well, if it had gone this way, if it had gone that way. It didn't. It went the way it did. And we're looking at a tied match going into game 3.
Yep, as we said before, the winner of this very possibly will be able to draw into top 8.
Very, very possible, yep. It's impossible to predict anything other than EXO. You cannot guarantee usually to top 8, but both of these players got to know that they're knocking on the door.
Well, they're under the camera with 2 rounds to go. They probably means their match is somewhat important. So
indeed. So for those of you just tuning in from home, welcome to the StarCityGames.com Legacy Open here in Sacramento, California. I'm Nicholas Saban here with Matthias Hunt, and we are watching round 6, because I can math, of the Legacy Open with Isaac Sears in his burn deck against Alaric Stein and his Maverick build.
Yeah, on Punishing Maverick. All right, game 3. Let's see. Lead off with Grim Lavamancer. We see Lava Spike in his hand. There is a Stoneforge Mystic for Alaric.
And a Grove, a Mesa.
And a Hierarch.
Seems
excellent.
Good.
I think that's exactly the kind of hand that Alaric wants right now, actually.
Yeah.
It has the Batter Skull. It has an acceleration to possibly cast the Batter Skull.
Isaac cracking in for 1.
What's important here, I think, is that Isaac's should probably be trying to dump 2 spells into the yard in the possibility of a Stoneforge Mystic showing up. It's not going to matter too much because Alaric does have a Swords to Plowshares.
This is also true. So Alaric with
at 19 or 8. Alaric at
cracked for Grim.
18.
Yep.
Down to 17, but gonna go get a Batter Skull.
Seems good.
Once again, it's that check to see if Alaric may have enough time now that he may not play the Batter Skull immediately or cheat it into play. He may be waiting until a chance that he has to bounce it. But usually the burn player has enough pressure on that he has to just run it out there, which is why Smash to Smithereens is so relevant in the matchup.
No, you're absolutely right. This is a matchup at this point that seems very largely defined just by Batterskull or no.
It's it's definitely a Batterskull check on his deck.
And so for Isaac Sears, he has to maximize his chances of having a no somewhere, and right now that looks like smash to smithereens.
Yep.
So we see Alaric Stein with Stoneforge Mystic and Noble Hierarch. Isaac's got Grim Lavamancer with an empty bin, and Keldon Marauders are just going to go away in 2 turns. So Isaac's going to be able to punch through for some good damage early on, but we need to see more of his hand to figure out what kind of continuation Isaac is going to have.
So, yep, revealing, yes, I did get the Batterskull. And back to Isaac.
Isaac draws.
And right here, actually, Sulfuric Vortex would also be an excellent play for Isaac, because Alaric does not have the mana to deal with it. Lava Spike.
Spike seems fine.
And so he's trying to put 2 spells into the yard, I'm pretty sure. He's going to maybe bolt him.
Yep.
I believe Isaac is down a life. Isaac's at 19
Spike
here.
Spike you?
Due to Barbarian Ring.
3 you? Swords it.
He's going to swords it. Feeling a little more uncomfortable after all those, so that brings Isaac up to 22. It doesn't go into the yard. Yeah, good fix there. And going to take out the Stoneforge Mystic, almost certainly.
No question.
And he says go.
What? I mean...
Maybe, maybe not.
Really?
A Johnny Vengeance, as we said before.
Hey now.
And shoot the Lavamancer. And he can either trade it with the Ajani Vengeance or with the Stoneforge, or he can trade it with the Stoneforge Mystic.
Now, another option, although I'm not even sure it's good, would be to just have Grim Lavamancer suicide so that Alaric doesn't gain the life.
Yeah, he could have it suicide. That's... He's going to have it... I think he is going to opt for that. He's going to have it shoot itself.
Yeah.
So Alaric's at 10. Okay. Isaac's probably looking at a fistful of burn here. That's a bad sign. From Alaric's side of the table, you look at that and you're like, oh, I see. That's the thing is that even with Batterskull, because he has not tapped for it, Alaric cannot gain life off Batterskull for 2 turns. So now the challenge is, can Isaac deal 10 damage, 10 points of burn within 2 turns?
I mean, it wouldn't... I think we saw a Flame Rift.
So there's 4.
In the grip, yep.
The Barbarian Ring won't be turned on. The Grim Lavamancer had first shot at the graveyard, so...
Yep. Weird kind of tension between the Barbarian Rings and the Grim Lavamancer.
Yeah, I don't think... The rings typically are not very relevant in the burn deck. They're almost... Because the burn deck cares so little about its own life total that it's a fine card to be running anyway. But Keldon Marauder is really only good as a 2-point burn spell because of Batterskull.
Right. So now we see Alaric Stein with 4 mana and a Johnny Vengeance and a Stoneforge Mystic, but...
Yeah, remember, Johnny's going to probably take one of those mountains, so... He can waste the Barbarian Ring. Ooh. I think I like wastelanding the Barbarian Ring there, actually.
Yeah, that...
And then having a Johnny hold down a mountain.
Yep, crippling Isaac on mana.
Which is actually, because of the wasteland play, it's one of those things where Isaac on his turn probably wants to actually leave a mountain open instead of a Barbarian Ring. Well, actually, sorry, it doesn't matter either way.
So Alaric now... Another Noble
Just dropping his whole hand, all the blockers he can find, all the mana he can find. Batterskull's going to come down, challenging Isaac to basically say, to do something about this.
Yep.
See what you have.
And... Really?
Stoneforge. Who knows? I think he's debating whether he wants to play at main phase. There's no reason to do that. He's going to pass.
Okay.
Isaac. No more burn.
Draws.
Remember, actually, he needs 9 points of burn here. Because the Keldon Marauders, while good for burn, won't get to deal their last point before the Batterskull swings.
This is true.
And next turn to Johnny will get to Lightning Helix something. The game will quickly become out of his control.
So we could see a line here where Isaac, he's got the
wasteland. The tapping the wasteland is once again really relevant. Price of Progress is in this format, and he's got to Alaric has got to be careful about that.
4, 5, 6. That would be 6 damage.
So most of his outs involve a Fire Blast once again.
Yep. Fire Blast and Price would be game at this point for Isaac Sears, but he's tanking an awful lot.
That probably means he doesn't have that combination.
I've been known to play the burn deck in my day, and usually if I've got it,
you got it.
My hands are shaking. I'm ready to get there. Also, it's like, you dead?
Throw him out, but this situation suggests the opposite.
So Isaac leaning back, arms folded across his chest. He's looking for some options, and I don't know. I'm not seeing him. I can't see his hand. That would be helpful, but
well,
talking it out,
asking some questions. So Burn, once again, the presence with Stoneforge Mystic rising in the format, Burn really had another challenge levied at it. There's a lot of decks with access to Batterskull.
Yeah. Flame Rift. Not quite enough. The 2-drop for which he was hoping.
No, the problem is that next turn Alaric's going to gain 7 life. And this looks bad for the Burn player.
Yeah. Wow. So that Batterskull is going to be, if it attacks alone, it's going to be a 6/6. There are a lot of ways here in which Alaric Stein can boost his life total quite comfortably.
If I'm Alaric Stein, as much as I don't want to get rid of my Planeswalker, I'd swing, get rid of a Johnny, get as much life as possible. The Batterskull will carry you the rest of the way.
For a deck that we characterize as fair, I gotta say, what Alaric's doing right now looks pretty unjust.
I think Stoneforge, as we said before, Stoneforge Mystic is one of the more unfair aspects of the deck. So maybe categorizing it as totally a fair deck is really, well, not fair, but
it does make one marvel at how many of the good decks right now in the format turn on Stoneforge Mystic. You know, you're always seeing Esper Stoneblade decks all over the place. Mm-hmm. Maverick.
Two Fire Blasts to his hand. And that is game for Alaric Stein. Wins 2-1 over Isaac Sears.
Hot damn.
Moves to 5-1 in our 7-round event today. Maybe one match away from top 8.
Entirely.